Today's startup offers an inclusive and unbiased stage for startup founders to shine and share their entrepreneurship and startup journeys to inspire international audiences on tech news around the world. Today's startup features Kanan Tandi, founder CEO, CogniCue. Welcome, Kanan.
Thank you so much, Cheryl.
So,
Happy to be
Kanan,
here.
please share with us about yourself. Do a brief introduction about yourself, your background, and also the startup that you're working on. You have half an hour, so you can take your own sweet time to tell your stories. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. So the journey started long back. I think it started around 12 years back when I got interested in nonverbal communication and body language. Initially, it was just looking at the people and trying to understand what they are trying to say and communicate. And that time, back then, I was preparing for my MBA in Pune Symbiosis. So I didn't really know what exactly is that. But once I entered into the MBA, it also gave me an idea of a subject called as consumer behavior, where you can actually you can talk to your customer without talking to the customer. That's something which made me really think that okay, fine. I mean, you do not have to speak a word, but the clients do understand what you're saying. And later on, when I realized that okay, 93% of a communication is non-verbal, so why not we give it more value in that case? So I thought that I'll study more in this line. And back then there was not really any other specialized course in India. So I ended up doing all the online courses which were available back then. And I also went to Malaysia to do another course which was on the evaluation of truthfulness and credibility. Basically, it's a beautiful name for lie detection. So I do not really feel till now that a human can identify lie just in the first meet itself. There are different steps that a person needs to follow. But yes, I felt that this is something people need to know of. It can save you a lot of time, money, and energy. It has saved me from getting into unwanted situations. So I felt that working on, that's how I started my first company called as Body Speaks Better. I basically trained people and made people more aware. And I also developed few courses like, how to identify a fake sexual harassment case. It's not always the man who's in the fault, because of our personal biases, we tend to make a lot of mistakes. That is something I wanted to work on that. And then in 2018, I met my right now the co-founder. Back then we were friends, we are still very good friends. And he is an amazing coder or a full stack developer, let me just say that. Very very good at technical skills, and also a very very introverted person, just exactly opposite to how am I. So I approached him saying that, hey, why not we start something where, we can just analyze or capture the facial expressions. So he said that, yeah, we can do that, and but it'll take some time. Back then, he was not really interested in this, so he continued his work. We kept hanging out, and every time we used to meet, I used to just little bit subtly tell him, hey, what do you think about the idea? Hey, what do you think about the idea? Things like that. And finally he quit his job to start his own startup that was into fraud detection. And that was the time when he realized that this is also something which can be useful. So he approached me saying that I can be a fourth co-founder in their startup, which unfortunately did not work and they had to drop the idea for that. But that was a golden opportunity for me, because now finally my guy was without a job. So I approached him once again saying that, hey, let's just do that. You're still you're between the jobs, and why not just give it a try? And then fortunately he agreed. And then we started this last year, March, the second year. And when he agreed to this idea, we thought that okay, fine, we will be like one of the coolest company who will make the setup always remote, and all the people will be remote. Nobody will be seeing each other, and just twice a year we will meet in the beach capital of India, that is Goa. So it'll be all fun. And just after 1 week, the lockdown happened.
Mm.
And that was, I do not know if it is a boon in a disguise, I do not know that, but it really paved a way for us so that more people know that what exactly is remote setup. And we entered into a field where we did not really know that we are entering. It became a field where now more people are aware of work from home setup or hybrid work setup. So we started with the education line, thinking that it will help the students more if the student will be understanding what are the cues which the candidate needs to focus on while preparing for an interview. So it's just a simple platform where a candidate goes and clicks on the link, and there is an automated interview where the system asks the candidate question. Hi, how are you? Tell me about yourself. Why should we hire you? Do you think you have the right candidature? Things like that. And every time the candidate answers, our system captures the audio, visuals, and also the words that are being said. So we do text analysis, we do audio analysis, we do video analysis. And at the end of the interview, we generate a report by doing the three different analysis, which gives the candidate an idea how was their interview performance. And based on that, they can work on themselves. And it also has a scope of improvement. So not only that you did this, you also need to work on these many things. So this is what we are working on right now. uh, After education, we thought that recruitment is a field where probably we can get more revenue. As of now, education is something which has not been making a lot of money for us, so we moved to recruitment. So right now we are focusing on recruitment more, and we still
Mm-hmm.
have the educational side. So that's how it started and my background, Cheryl.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yes, do you actually use your tools in your recruitment process now?
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. We use it to identify how is the candidate. And one more thing I would like to add is uh, entering into recruitment was another reason. I did a brief stint as an HR head in a startup, a tech startup. And what happened is a lot of candidates could not really speak in terms of nervousness, lack of confidence, and they just got
Mm-hmm.
screened out by the other people.
Mm-hmm.
If you're skillful, I feel that you should not be screened based on a personal bias. And this is where our system comes in, where you can actually screen all the personal biases and you can get a skillful person. Not only that, in India, we have, I do not know about outside companies, but in India, we have this glorifying of institutes that you can apply if you are from a premier XYZ school or business school or engineering college. So that will also limit a lot of candidates. So when we have this solution, a lot of candidates can get a chance to enter into a place where they can compete with all the other candidates. So that's the idea behind it, Cheryl.
I see. So with these tools this is an in-house tool that you have developed, of course, CogniCue, right? But with your
Yes.
experience as a recruiter, and you see that it is actually giving you benefit in the business, so are you also planning to so-called promote this service to the other recruiters or even the in-house recruiters?
Oh, yes, yes. That is actually the plan of approaching, let's say, scaling startups who do not really have that much of time, but they also want a skillful person in their company. So, yes, that is one of the product roadmaps that we have.
Mhm. And then one question to you, because you are a professional in I think decoding emotions, right, on body language and stuff. So, what do you think about the younger generation these days when they are so comfortable in digital world? Do you see this as a problem moving forward to humanity?
No, no, actually, no, because we have been seeing the changes. I mean, the life that we are seeing right now, it was very different for our parents and was very different for our grandparents also.
Mm,
And hence, it will be very different for the next generation. So we just need to understand what works for whom. I read articles saying that now the young generation is that not that much of connection, or they do not have that much of connection within each other, but they
mm,
are very much connected. And only thing, the platform is different right now. So we need to understand that it's not a problem, it's just a new age or a new digital generation which is coming, and we need to understand how they work.
Mm-hmm. You see, I do when I'm outside having maybe tea with my friends. Sometimes I see a couple next to me. They are
Mhm.
sitting opposite each other, supposed to be having tea, but each one of them
Yes.
are looking down on their phone, not talking to each other. Sometimes
Yes.
I really wonder, are they chatting with each other on over smartphone, or are they talking to somebody else? Or if they don't want to spend time, quality time with each other, why don't they just stay at home?
Oh, yes, yes. And I think it's a very common situation that we also see. If not back then, when we do not have, let's say, we did not have mobile phone, we still had something, right? And I can tell you of my childhood stories when we used to go out as a family. Back then, we did not have mobile phones at so much. So every time we used to go, and we used to laugh, my parents, my brother, and all four of us, and my dad used to point out to this other table where the family is there and they were just not talking. They ordered the food and then they ate and then they just went. So it was there, this connection was always there. With the phone we just keep blaming the phone. So it depends on person to person how they want to be connected.
Hmm. Do you also advise parents on how to manage their children in terms of the children's body language?
Yes, yes, I do. And that is something I had recently started because I started observing that every parent just starts to blame the children and their phone, that it's because of the phone that they're not performing well.
And social
And that's
media.
how, yes, and the social media, absolutely. So I don't think that's true. I mean, yes, you will not like it to see your child always to be glued on the phone. But what if the child is now learning, like companies like Byju's and Unacademy, there are good companies and they actually have good courses. You get glued to the phone in that way also. So yes, the thing is they did not have something, and right now they're just learning that okay, for phone also something, phone can also create something which can make us glued. And right now I do not know about you, Shell, I have also seen parents becoming glued to the phone
Mm.
for, for Facebook or on WhatsApp, or all the web series. I have seen parents also doing that, so that is
Mm.
also there.
Yeah, I'm sure the adults definitely need to lead by example. But how do you see? You do not see this as a problem, or if you come across this kind of situation, how do you advise them, such that they should continue to have human to human connection instead of being so connected with their device or even social
Yes,
media?
I do feel that nothing can really replace a human to human connection, and that's why there should be few rules, like no phones on the table while having dinner or while having lunch or any meal if you're having with the family, or no phones on the bed. There are certain rules that a person has to deal with. Like I said, things are changing and we just need to know how to use it properly. So yes, it is a problem, but if we regulate it well, I don't think that should be a problem.
Hmm. Can you talk a bit more about CogniCue? How
Oh
how does
yes.
it really work? How do you actually adopt AI to do what you
So
do for that solution?
right now, what we are doing is, like I said, we have three different analysis. We have non-verbal analysis, verbal analysis, and the text analysis. And all three of them, we have not made it. Let's say it's not an in-house build, but we have got the tech from other side. For example, we use the deep learning models for video analytics. It's called FACS, facial action coding system, which captures all the small little movements of the face. Then
Mm-hmm.
there was this research paper on phonetics, which we had taken from Pratt. Pratt is a software which captures the different tones, so we get the audio metrics from them. And then we also use zero shot learning for the text analysis. It's a very, I do not want to sound a very techie person here because I'm not, and I'm not even using some jargon, just to say that we have taken the models and then we train the models in our own way. In the future, we are also looking at training the model up to a level that it becomes personalized. So let's say I and you are interacting through the platform, and let's say you are not comfortable in something, I would be able to gauge that okay, I said something for which Cheryl was not comfortable. So that is where we are working on right now, to identify a person's personal emotions becoming more personalized. So that's what we are doing.
Mhm. This may be a very a little sensitive, but can your tool actually tell whether a candidate has some mental challenge?
No, because for that we need more clinical trials. We are looking to get clinical trials, and hopefully in Ireland we will be getting soon. So we are looking to do that because we feel that there are certain things that when you are talking to someone, you will still be able to get that. We are not claiming anything as of now, but yes, there could be something after the clinical trial. Probably would be, we will be in a better position to say anything related to that.
Oh, so it's a work in progress for you.
Yes, yes,
But
absolutely.
how of course you have to go through the proper route, the clinical trial. But how confident are you that this tool will be able to help early detection?
Mm, early detection, like I said, we can say something only after the clinical trials.
No
But
worries.
yes, yes,
I'm just very
but I can
curious
tell you, I'm
because
just,
I'm sure
I can
Heyman
tell
will ask you
you.
the same question too.
Yes, yes, because we are working with somebody who has ADHD and ASD himself, and he also got to know about our platform, and he seems very much bullish with the idea that it was him who took it forward to Ireland, and we applied to the Hub of Innovation of Ireland, and they liked the idea. So there is a possibility. I'm not saying that it will be helpful for children, because children, by, I mean, they are very very cute small little beings, right? They are always animated. So it will be helpful for the adults, because most of the adults become, they just grow up, become undiagnosed, and they do not even know that there was something that they could have worked on. So yes, it will be more helpful for the children as of now.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
think
the adults, I'm sorry. Yeah.
sure, no problem. Um, is there anything you want to share with us regarding your startup journey? Like, I'm sure everyone knows that being a founder, there's ups and downs. Have you? What is the biggest challenge you have overcome so far since you started to, do your own thing, be an entrepreneur?
The biggest challenge as of now, I think the biggest challenge is yet to come, because when we were starting, I and my co-founder, we have agreed to the point that we are going to hear a lot of no's, a lot of you're too early's, a lot of I don't think it is going to work. So I do not feel that we have still come across the biggest challenge yet. So the general problems or challenges that we have had is, I cannot really name the startup, but it's a big company. So we approached them and they liked the idea. But after discussion, we heard that they are also doing something like this, what we are doing. So I
Oh,
felt that probably they got the idea from us, and now they are making their own thing. So things like that will still happen. And one of our mentor, he told us that if you are thinking that you're the one who's making something really big and unique, wait till other five people come up and do the same thing. So we are ready for that. We just don't know yet what is the biggest challenge.
yeah. That
So
means that
probably, yeah.
yeah. If somebody is trying to copy your idea, meaning that you already have product market fit. You just
Yes,
need to
yes.
work harder on building your community to expand your traction, to increase your traction
Yeah.
fast.
Speaking of which, now I can feel that probably there is a challenge. Things that I and my co-founder, we are just a two-member team as of now. There's one person who does the social media for us. So totally, let's say three-member. And we have come a long way by only this three-member team. So we are not really looking to raise funds, but once you are working in your own company, go all in, leaving every other job which was available in the market, it kind of becomes tough to manage your personal expenses and the bills. So that is something, I think, a challenge that we both are facing, I and my co-founder. So let's see what happens next.
I'm sure there is synergy between what you're doing now, temporary as a recruiter, and also dealing with your clients, which I assume mostly are hiring manager or the HR, in-house HR recruiter. You can always, do it concurrently as you're serving them. You can also promote to them the tools that you're using. I'm sure if they can see some value in it, they will also roll it out for their for their company as well. So
Yes, and we do not really, and the main problem that we are facing in approaching is the hiring manager feels that probably it is a replacement for an HR. It is not, because it's at the end it's a machine. The final
it's a
decision has to be made by a
tool.
human. Yes, it's true. And I do not know how to tell them that it is not going to replace you, and that's why we do not make it to the next step. So that's happening.
Okay, so Kanan, are you ready to open up for audience Q&A?
Oh, yes, 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 sure.
Yeah, because I'm sure Vinay will be able to give you some advice because he's a veteran in this area.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I have heard him for, and I would be very, very open to learn or anything.
Yeah.
Anything harsh, open, blunt, totally fine.
No worries. Okay, we'll be opening up for audience Q&A. So for those in the audience, if you want to ask a question, you can raise your hand or back channel me so that I can bring you up. For those who are already on stage, can you please flash your mic if you want to ask Kanan the first question or maybe give her some advice? Yes, hey man.
Hi, Kanan. Thanks. It's a great story. I've just been looking through your website, scouring this. So your focus right now is going to be the education sector and recruitment, right? Is the initial stage?
Yes,
Okay. Because as a
yes, yes.
physician, I was like piqued interest in the healthcare side too. But I'm wondering with the education part, in India, for instance, right now, how much has there been remote learning? Like how,
Right now, yep.
sorry, go ahead.
So yes, now because of the lockdown, people have started to go for online learning, but we still feel this the barrier to enter. So I do not have a number for that, like how much are they learning?
No, the reason I was asking was, have you are you actually working with educational institutions or educational software to put another layer of your software on top so the teachers can monitor their students on the screen, or
No, monitoring is something we did not think, and it will not be another layer. It will just be a thing where the teacher does not have to focus a lot on candidates' interview skills, let's say, or the soft skills development. So it will just be another aid or a tool.
okay. No, I was wondering with your
Yeah, and
ADHD.
yes, and Heyman, one more thing. We can identify how much the person or the student is attentive, but we are just not doing that because I feel that that's a lot on a student anyway.
Right. Also, one more thing. When you do the interviews, do the people who do these interviews, do they get a chance to trial? Like I know that you also said how you could improve yourself, right? On your website
Yes.
solutions. So if people to even see, self-assess how their emotions are impacting others, how they're reflecting, I'm curious to know about that. Like, so people can actually improve too, if they're presenting themselves wrong or incorrectly for society.
Oh, yes, yes, they can do the trial. As of now, there's a basic demo link which is present on our website, which is an HR round, how you're preparing for an HR round. So anybody can take that n number of times. It's totally open. We are never going to charge for that trial anyway. So that's available. And about self-learning and all, we have not really developed that product, but it's not difficult to develop again. So if we find any client who wants us to do that, yes, why not?
Thank you.
Thank you. Who wants to ask the next question? Vinay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'll go. Hey, Kanan, really interesting. And I'm also looking at your website. A couple of quick questions. I mean, like him, and I'm also looking at use cases. Uh,
Yep.
a lot of companies are doing first, asking employees to send in videos, potential candidates to send in videos of why they would be suitable for a job or some kind of an introduction instead of a paper-based resume. Um, could you run videos through your tool? Is there an
Oh, yes,
analytics? Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
that's very much possible.
Okay. That's one. And second, have you thought about using the tool or partnering with organizations in the learning and development space? Because a lot of companies do behavioral skills training, behavioral aspects, right? So there's an opportunity to include this into analysis or like, let's say, a presentation skills workshop, which is run, because a lot of those workshops do video recordings of participants making a presentation, and then they do a feedback from the facilitators. So have you looked at that as an opportunity?
No, we did narrow it down, but then that was not coming up as one of the more revenue generation streams. So that's why we just kept it on hold. We did think of that, but we did not really approach that route.
And have you also, I know it's India centric right now, the whole, I think I heard you say it, but I stepped away from the phone. There's a whole cultural element or a global element of body language looking different in different parts of the world. Have you started analyzing those elements as well?
Yes, yes. So, like I said, we in the video analytics right now we are covering only the facial expressions, but in the near future we will be covering the head movement and the shoulder and the hands movement, which will be very much based on the cultural diversities we have in India or Asia or globally.
Oh, that's
Great,
a
thanks.
that is a very good question, Kanan. The reason why I'm actually from Singapore, so we have
Yep.
many Indian community in Singapore as well, and I did I do know that there are many types of Indians. Although in Singapore we just thought that there's only a few, but there's a lot, because there's once we actually have a language room, and then apparently there are a lot of different language, even if it's Indian language. So just now you mentioned about the head expression or the movement of the head, right? Even to shake
Yes.
the head has different meaning, right?
Yes.
So how do you differentiate that
It's for
using algorithm?
example the main head. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Yes.
So, the main head gesture, which is considered to be a very Indian head gesture, is called as the Indian head wobble. And that also depends on from where you are. And there's actually, by the head movement of a person, you can identify if the person is from a rural background or from an urban background. So that's there. And I have been doing a study on the head movement for the last 3 years now, and we have reached to a point where we can identify that head movements means what. So usually a yes is very simple, where you put your head from up to down, and no is side to side. So it's very simple. But when we talk about the Indian head wobble, it's moving the head or tilting the head right to left. So that also is has a meaning. It does not mean a yes or no. It generally means okay. And okay a lot, okay a less, but it means okay. So yes, we are making our model in that way so that we can identify even the small little head gestures.
That's so interesting. I think that'll be very helpful. Your tool is actually on a computer, or do you have a mobile version?
Oh, I have a mobile version also. So we have mobile version, but we are working on that. Right now it's totally very much good experience you will be having based with the laptop.
I see. Thank you. Hey, Sharon, go ahead.
Hey, Kanan. I was wondering, how great is your project at reading like eye movement? So as a Haitian, we show respect by not looking the interviewer or the person of authority in the eyes, right? But in America, that's viewed as being shady or hiding something. How would your program interpret such a thing?
Oh, thank you, Sharon. That's a very good question. Yes, so that is something which we are solving because we have a system or a screen in front of us. So at that point of time, when you are talking in front of a person and screen is there, so that will not be a problem at all. Next thing is, our system is also very much candidate oriented. So a candidate usually feels fear or inhibition, lack of confidence. All these things are tackled because the candidate does not really have to answer anyone face to face. So this is totally based on online, and a candidate does not have to worry about making an eye contact or not making an eye contact. Just in case the candidate is not looking at the screen, we can still figure out if the candidate is not looking at the screen because the candidate is feeling uncomfortable, or probably the candidate is referring to something written, or reading an article on the right or left side.
Thank you. That's helpful.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon. Messi, do you have a question to ask? Okay, Messi is not there. So, Kanan, what? Oh, Messi is
I
there.
was, but I can't. I make. No, I'm just wondering that. From what I heard in your experience, what are the most challenging aspects of your journey so far?
Thank you, Messi. The challenging journey has been telling people that why and how nonverbal communication is important. All of us, we have something called as this gut feeling or sixth sense. Some people believe in it, some people do not. It's basically your brain which is telling you, because it has picked up signals from a person's nonverbal, that this person is good and this person is not good. So this is something we are trying to do when you are not comfortable in front of someone. Sometimes the other person just does not know, because they do not know how to read a person. So I felt that one of the challenges is this: when you are telling people that this is the importance of nonverbal communication, and also you need to tell them that it's just not sitting straight, having a good posture. It's much more than that. Um, I have, like I said, I was telling Cheryl that it has saved me from different unwanted situations. Like, you can, if you're walking and you're aware of the surroundings, you can not be in an unwanted situation. If we have time, I would like to cite an incident. Cheryl, do we have time for that?
Of course, we have. We have 25 minutes. Go
Oh,
ahead.
brilliant. So Messi, this happened a couple of years back. What happened is, I and my friend, we were roaming in the streets of Delhi. That's the capital of India, and Delhi is not really known to be a very safe city. Let's just say that. So we were, and it was a good crowded area where we were roaming. So it was an area in Delhi called as PVR Priya. So we were roaming, and then I realized that two men are following us. So wherever we were going, these guys were following us, and I told my friend that, hey, we are being followed. And she freaked out by looking at two middle-aged men following us. So I told her that, keep calm, it's okay, we will handle the situation. And there is a police van standing right there. So Delhi is safe in that way, because every couple of 100 meters you see a police van there. So I told my friend to stay there, and I went to the police van, and I told the police van that, hey sir, I think that I have dropped my driver's license. And then the police asked me, where do you think you have dropped it? So I pointed it out towards where the men were standing. I said that I think I have dropped somewhere there, but right now I'm not finding it. But from a distance, those two men got scared, thinking that probably I'm complaining, and they just fled. They just vanished. So just wanted to say that when we are aware of the surroundings, it can help us getting saved from the situation. So yeah, that's one of the things, Messi, I would like to quote.
Wow, thank you so much. That's so brave. Thank you.
Thank you, Messi.
Thank you, Kanan. Kanan, the users of your tool now, are they only in India or?
Oh, no, we are serving globally. Uh, so we can also translate the system into a different language. Only thing is we will be needing some time to work on the translation. But if if the interview is happening, let's say in English, then it will be done. Even now it can be done.
Oh, now it's available in English and
uh, it's available only in English,
oh,
but
okay.
if somebody needs it in the local language, we can do that, like
How,
probably in a fortnight or so. So the
how big is your
translation
user
is
base now?
on.
How many users are there in your
uh,
system now?
we have 9,000 users as of now.
Wow,
So they're, yeah,
that's
not
quite
not a very
significant.
big number, but yes.
But having said that, there are billions of people in India, right? So
Oh yes, yes,
yeah, that's
they
why
are. There
Renee keep telling us unicorns, unicorns, almost like a few every week. I hope you can become one too. Okay, Heyman, you have another question?
Yeah, no, I'm also wondering like which sectors are your most of your clients from?
most of the clients are from recruitment right now, and three of them are from education.
Right. No, I was also wondering. I was looking at your recruitment analysis. How do you how do you ensure success? Because I think oftentimes do these recruiters give you feedback in terms of how the recruits fared at their new positions and so forth?
Yes, yes, we do get a feedback from them, what's working and what's not working. Initially, we did or we made the product totally based on how we thought it will work, but it has changed a lot from what we made and what it is now. We are work also now making something called as the sorting system, so that an HR can segregate the candidates based on the skill sets that a candidate might possess, how open minded the candidate is, how good the person is in decision making skills. So we are working on that also. So yes, we do take the feedback from the recruiters.
And also, how about the feedback from the actual recruitees? Because I'm just wondering, there is a lot of individuals. You mentioned there you had a person who's had ADHD working with you, right? Who's had taken it abroad. I'm curious to know is like, how do you actually ensure that the recruitees are not missed? The really good recruitees are not missed based on their presentation, maybe during that interview.
Well, as of now, we have not really got the feedback from a recruitee saying that the system has not been good. We have received the other side of feedback, which is something like, "Oh, I did not feel scared at all. It was very comfortable for me, and it was a good solution." Things like that. So we have heard of this, but we are totally open to take any negative feedback from a recruitee also, that probably it did not work for them. We also give our email ID at the end, just in case they are not happy with the solution, so that they can reach out to us directly. I mean, anything which is working, we are just totally open and experimenting.
Great. No, I think no, I think I was wondering about like the neurodiverse communities for certain tech positions, especially they could be some of the best employees. That's why I'm wondering whether your system was aware of that. And maybe you could even point out those individuals who might need more of an in-person interview. That might help recruiters recruit sometimes these gold nuggets that are out there. And also healthcare wise, it's another huge area, but I'll leave that for another day discussion.
Oh yes, Heyman, and uh, for a technical role, basically the communication skills does not really matter that much. So for some companies, soft skills do matter, and I totally understand that. Coming from a tech startup background, I have interviewed few of the candidates who were pathetic in their soft skills, but because the tech head liked them, they took them, like they onboarded them. So it is not a solution to so it's not like one size fits all. If you are looking for a sales person, or let's say a business development executive, or let's say a very fresher level person who can speak or who can communicate, if we want to know that, then our solution becomes very much good fit for them. So yes, totally agree with you that it's not a tool which can identify a tech guy or girl there. Yes.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Kanan. Hey,
yeah, this is
Vinay.
Yeah, this is Vinay. One of the other use cases is, and I don't know, a lot of companies, you know, right? The largest recruiters like a TCS and others, they do such huge rounds of campus recruitment. Have
Right.
you looked at deploying this through? Because they use focus group discussions, they have multiple people in a room together having conversations. Is there some way that this can analyze that?
It can win, but they are such big companies that we do not know how to enter them and how to approach them. I have been trying to reach any one of them who at least gives us one trial, but that's just not happening. But yeah, we have been trying to do that.
Let's connect offline. I'll connect you to a couple of the folks in that space.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Vinay. And maybe Kanan, you can offer to give Vinay a trial
Absolutely.
for
But you
his
got to
team.
tell
That would
us
be
though how
great.
he performed. That's
Yeah.
the deal.
No, it's between
That
you
is.
and Vinay, NDA. So if Vinay want to share, yeah, you can let us know.
Oh,
Thank you,
yes.
Vinay.
Thank you so much, Heyman, for bringing that point. What happens is sometimes people do ask me this that, hey, is your solution compliant to the GDPR? And, how come you're taking somebody's facial expressions and capturing and you're just telling people? So we have received those kind of comments also. So we will not say that it's compliant, but we will also say that every time we capture a facial expression or an emotion or words or everything, the candidate always knows why the person has been recorded and for what are the things which is getting recorded and for what purpose will it be used. As long as you're doing that, you are GDPR compliant. So that's totally fine. And it's not at all unethical from any angle because we are telling them well in advance.
Okay, that's great. Pat, welcome on stage. Do you have a question for Kanan?
Yes, please, Cheryl. Actually, I have two.
Go
One
ahead.
that's very quick and personal, and the other one about the research and the work that you're doing with CogniCue, Canon. You mentioned, I think, because my reception has been really quite intermittent. You mentioned at the beginning that you first were interested in this because of going into your MBA. I just wondered whether you'd done psychology or something psychology related for your first degree.
For my bachelor's, no, but then after that, I self-taught myself, still pursuing master's in psychology. So yes,
It's fascinating, isn't it? And there's so much
yes,
scope. I think described of your startup and what you intend to achieve through it. Um, it it sounds like it's got a huge amount of potential in recruitment, obviously, but also in scientific and medical directions too. You were speaking about your trials, your clinical trials, and of course, I don't expect you to give detail and so on because those are ongoing. But um,
mm,
all the different aspects that can be gained from different ethnic groups, different peoples from around the world who
right,
display different communication facial
right,
features or eye features, whatever, head, mouth, all of that. Um, I expect you're going to be collecting quite a lot of data and information about that. And from that will be a lot of other knowledge that you can deduce, or the AI itself might take itself somewhere else.
yes,
In that respect, this is a very worthwhile thing for recruitment, but it could lead to facilitating levels of diagnosis in how people can handle their personalities or what talent might be hidden there in that person that a company, a
mm.
tech company or a more mainstream company might want to tap into. Would you say that's the potential of it too?
Uh, yes, yes, because like I said, we are focusing on making the candidate interview experience in a different way. For example, you, me, Cheryl, Vinay, Heyman. So most of us, we will be in our best when we are comfortable. If somebody makes us uncomfortable, we will not be able to speak that much. So this is where we are coming from to make the interview experience better so that a person can be totally candid and normal, and also to the best of what they can and what they cannot do. So yes, Pat, you're right there.
And I guess then from the feedback, it'll be interesting the outcome of the trials and of the research, I suppose, where if you as the tool provider can observe that a candidate or a series of candidates are producing, are displaying a different set of skills. For instance, the candidate who is not comfortable looking at the camera during the interview because they perceive it that's the an authoritative person or something like that, and maybe looks down too much, would you then be able to pick up that there are maybe other talents that that person is showing, and then that gets recommended or highlighted to the recruiting organization?
Yes, actually, it depends on the recruitment department or the agency. What are the skill sets they are looking for? Let's say they want a conversationalist, and we got somebody who's not very good at communication. So they will be getting to know that. We will not be able to identify what are the hidden talents because the recruiter had already filled. There are pre-filled skill sets where they are looking at. So at that point of time, I feel it might be difficult for us to identify something which is not even told to us to find out.
You're right
Thank
there, of
you.
course. Sorry, Cheryl. Just one further little point, because
Go ahead.
I've had two boys, children, and I've noticed that they particularly sometimes do not. In the past, when they were a lot younger, were not able to perform as easily in interviews and so on because of whatever. And I know, or rather, no, sorry. Can I start that again, please? That sometimes candidates do not present as well as they should on paper or in some statement about their personality and so on. But when you do meet face to face, they can shine. So in a situation where they're having an interview online, it might be that the person opens up a little bit, and I guess that's what you're anticipating, and feels more relaxed and comfortable. But would you think that other qualities can come across when that person is so much more relaxed? Qualities that go above and beyond what a recruiting company might be looking for?
Oh, yes, that is there. For example, I given a chance, I will not want to meet somebody through a video call. I would want to meet somebody in person because I feel that I can connect to people much better when I see them in person. So people like me will have a bad side there because they will not be able to connect with them. We are just making a platform which can be there for more people and can reduce the personal bias. But yes, the point that you have made, I have taken the note, and probably we can work on that also. Thank you so much, Pat.
Thank you indeed.
Thank you, Pat. Roland, you have a question for Kanan?
Hey, Cheryl, thank you for inviting me on stage.
Welcome.
Hi, Kanan, how are you? Hope all is well.
Yes, all well. How are you, Roland?
Very well indeed. So I'm not sure if I heard correctly. Someone used the word clinical trials, Kanan. Have you
Oh
all
yeah, that
started?
was me.
Have you all started doing something in the health space or what?
Yes. So we have not been able to be in touch for long.
Yes.
So there was this person who connected with me from Ireland, and he wanted to take this forward in Ireland related to the neurodiversity area. So he said that this solution will be much better for the ADHD and the ASD people also, and for them we approached the Ireland Hub of Innovation, and we did not get selected, but we got a good amount of interest from them, and they are the one who said that they will be connecting us for the clinical trials for the ADHD and the ASD. So yes, that is going on.
Well, congratulations. And a comment to the question Pat just made about, you know, in presence interaction versus online interaction.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Kanan,
Sure.
but I think, like everything in life, there is a learning process. And in an interview scenario, my personal opinion is that such a platform will also bring more rigor towards the interviewer, such that it enables them to improve the quality of questions that they ask in an interview, such that the interview becomes a much more thoughtful, intentional process, and ultimately the data collected from a platform such as Kanan's is, in the longer term, going to improve the quality of our interactions. Would that be right, Kanan?
Yes, yes, that's totally right. And uh, you, one more thing to add to Roland's point. You presented it much better than how I was doing. I also feel that nothing can replace a face-to-face interview. It can be thoughtful, it can be really, really good, and you can identify a lot of different skills. But at the end, you need a human to have that more interaction, which can uh, let's say, which can be the final thing. It cannot replace a human skill at all. So yes, I think I agree with you, Roland, there.
Final comment. We need to catch up sometime soon, Kanan. Take care.
Sure, sure, Roland, I agree.
Thank you. Thank you, Roland. Okay, Kanan, we still have about 10 minutes. Is there any plug you want to drop?
I would just like to say this, that anyone who's interested to know about this, I'm always available from any channel which are there, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, email. I'm just available in anywhere. I'm available because you just need to make yourself more available to reach to people. So
Yeah.
I'm totally available in any of the platform. And anyone who would want to know more about this, I would love to catch up and talk more about it. And just want to share this, that we have something which can help people. And at the end, everybody feels that they're helping people, right? So I'm no different from them. So I also feel that our platform is really helpful to people who are scared of interviews, because at the end, it is a company and it is an individual, and they are looking if the relationship will be working out or not. If we look at it like that, it will be much easier, right? So it if anyone who's interested to know more about it, please connect with me, and I will be very, very, very happy to take this forward and tell you more about the platform. That's all I can say. And by the way, Cheryl, one more thing. Right now, our report accuracy is about 88%, and this is
Wow.
a collated report, all in all. And we are looking to get more accuracy for this, and hopefully less and less biases from our system will be there. So thank you so much.
Sure.
I have
I
one question.
Go ahead, Sharon.
Thank you. Kanan, have you thought about expanding into academia to serve that population? I have several students who talk to me about the interview process, and it seems like your program would help a great deal, particularly for those who are not able to really control some of those visceral reactions that they have to the interview process. Have you thought about expanding into the educational arena?
Oh, yes, Sharon, we do focus on education. The recruitment and the education is something that we are focusing on right now. Healthcare actually came as a bypass to us. So we are taking that forward also, but it's not in much bigger space. But yes, education and the recruitment are the two sectors where we are totally targeting right now. So yes.
Okay, wonderful. So, and then lastly, have you thought about utilizing or pairing with a chat box company for the language translation?
No, we have not thought about that. And thank you so much for giving me the idea.
Let's talk offline.
Sure.
Thank you, Sharon. And Kanan, you can also consider public speakers as your potential clients.
Yes, yes. The line is actually very, very good, the public speaking line. And so many people are interested in public speaking. And I was just reading somewhere that the second most fear of the people is the fear of public speaking. The first one is death. So,
Yeah, I
so
think
yes,
it's not just a formal public speaking, but when they need to do sales presentation or pitch, sometimes it can be quite nerve-wracking.
yes, 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 it can be. Yes, totally agreed with that.
Great, thank you. Anyone else on stage want to have a last comment or encouragement for Kanan?
Yeah, Cheryl, can I just say
Go
something?
ahead.
So, Roland here. So,
Yes, Roland.
I have spent, what, maybe 3-4 hours at different times. So, cumulatively 3-4 hours on Zoom calls with Kanan and her co founder. I have understood, and this is now going back months ago, uh,
Yes.
I have understood what they're doing. They're doing some really wonderful work with, as Kanan said, the recruitment space and the education space. I believe, and in fact, we even discussed the healthcare space. That's why it caught my attention. And I think there are a bunch of other spaces where they could do something good. So to Kanan, I'll say congrats, well done, keep up the good work. I think you're on the right path and look forward to following up soon. Take care.
Thank you so much, Roland. Thank you so much.
Oh, fantastic. So it's a very good session, Kanan. You have so many people inviting you to connect offline to try to help you.
Yeah, wouldn't have been possible without you, Cheryl. So thank you so much for that.
No, it's tech news. Okay. Having said that, anyone in the room, if you are a startup founder or if you know anyone who need a 1 hour stage to increase their visibility, be it for traction, for fundraising, or for hiring, just let them reach out to me and I'll try my best to schedule a session for them. With that, tech news around the world will be starting in half an hour's time. If there's no other comment from anyone on the stage, or Kanan, you want to say any closing words before I close the room?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I am very thankful to you and Tech News and Vinay, Roland, Heyman, Sharon, and Pat for giving me the encouragement. Like I said, I am totally open to any of the negative feedbacks also, because I mean, without that, a person won't be learning anything new. So please, if you feel that anything I said was not really good, or did not sound well, or it was totally bad or disappointed you, I'm extremely sorry and apologize for that. And thanks again, Cheryl and Tech News. Thank you so much.
Welcome. I think the word is not negative, it's constructive feedback. That's what we all need.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much. If that's the case, I'm going to close the room in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming. See you next time.